Happy Friday. Whew, man, made it through another week, and what a week it was. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. That's for all your gold and silver and Texas coin needs. The website at allamericangold.com. And, you know, we had the Fed, we got the rate cut, we got quantitative easing, but we're not going to call it that. We have issues in the bond market, more war drums seemingly beating every single day. And, man, it is hard to keep track. We've had a wild start to the morning today. Silver hit a new all-time record high. We've got some profit taking finally occurring. I don't know how long it will last, but if you're looking at buying silver today, at least, you just don't know. An hour ago, it was at a record high. Right now, it's just below $62. Got up almost to $65 as news everywhere about shortages. And again, it's not just gold and silver. You look at copper, things that are real commodities, the inflation that they know they've deliberately created, and they know that they've decided we're not going to stop it. I mean, that was the choice they made Wednesday. Here's what they decided. I mean, let's just be plain about it. The central bank decided to increase the amount that they steal from us every day. That was the choice. That was the decision. Why? Well, they agreed to lower rates. Funny thing is the bond market, it's actually higher. We'll get to that. It's not a good sign. And then they said, hey, we're going to start printing more money again. But don't worry, because, it's something that we feel like, as the economy gets, we need to have a bigger balance sheet. Huh. Do you know before the financial crisis? Because, listen, we're still in the financial crisis. They don't want to tell you that. Because they're like, oh, my gosh, the financial, you know what? They would love to pretend that it never happened. Right? What? It didn't happen. I mean, look at it. Come on. The Dow is 48,000 now. It's fine. It's wonderful. Financial crisis. All as they've done is print to make you believe that they fixed it. How do you fix a debt problem? Simple. You go bankrupt. We know this. How many of you out there listening have gone bankrupt before? Matter of fact, more people have gone bankrupt since the financial crisis than ever before. Boy, small business, gosh, it's tough, man. So tough. I know, I'm a small business owner. Jay's a small business owner. It's tough. Everything's a fortune. And they decided, sorry. We want to help our friends. That's what they decided, whether you like it or not. Now, if you're fortunate and you have a high-paying job, and it doesn't appear like that's going to go away, and you have a nice 401k, you're like, hey, yeah, it's pretty good. For everybody else, not so much. Not so much. And the Fed essentially said, we're going to make it worse and not better. Why? Well, because there isn't a good choice. And I kept, it's like a broken record, right, Jason? They have no good choices, and they were going to, let's face it, of all the choices, the easiest choice is to print more money. And that's what, let's face it, that's what the government wants to do, and that's what the bankers want to do, and that's exactly what they've done.
Yeah, and I was looking at that balance sheet. I thought it was lower than it was, but it's a little higher than. So I had mentioned the other day that the Fed was happy that they were at a certain level of, and it's a certain level of treasuries or certain asset levels that they were at, but they went from $4 trillion on the balance sheet, right, from before COVID. Now they're at $6 trillion. Am I got that right, Joe?
Oh, yeah, 6.6, 6.8. But that actually changed this morning as they started buying bonds again. Yeah. We just don't call it quantitative easy. 800-951-0592. Before we take a quick look at the markets, news breaking. Donald Trump says he's going to sign an executive order reclassifying marijuana. So all you pot smokers out there, I guess, light them up. I wonder if all the companies will follow suit now. And no longer, I don't know if they even drug test for marijuana anymore or not. I don't know. But apparently another executive order coming as we take a quick look at the market. By the way, they're saying he's going to do that by Monday. The Dow is down 250. The Nasdaq's down 76. I'm sorry, the Nasdaq's down 400. The S&P down 76. A lot of bad news with Oracle. By the way, their credit default swaps kind of blew out. And Oracle's huge. It's weird, but the math is not starting. The math's not adding up on this whole data center AI thing. So let's watch. I know Texas has a huge facility there. I don't even know how many gigawatt power. All these companies that were supposed to buy into it apparently are backing out. We'll have to watch and see there. The 10-year note, 419. Whoops. That wasn't supposed to happen. And again, we said this to everybody before. The Fed has cut 1.75%. And the 10-year note is 0.5% higher. This is not how it's supposed to work. And what is the bond market saying? Okay, keep printing. Go ahead. See what that gets you. It should be a major cause for concern. This is highly disappointing because not only did they say we're going to cut rates, $40 billion a month. And it started today. Right now, gold's up 8, 42.88. It's been as high as 43.50. Silver, man, wow, down $1.50 right now.
It was up earlier.
Yeah, well, silver, almost got to $65. It's at 62 to give you an idea. And I don't know how long this will last. So if you want to jump in, do it sooner rather than later. So what happened today? Let me tell you what these guys are doing. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, right?
Yep,
right? Is that right?
That's saying, yes.
That's the saying. So this morning, the Fed bought $8.167 billion of treasuries. You know what they bought? 1 to 4 months of treasury bills for $8 billion. Well, what happens in 1 to 4 months from now? Oh, wait, they got to buy them again, right? I mean, what are we doing? We're going to drive down the short-term rate, and I get it, right? Because the Fed's like, well, nobody likes borrowing from us for a long period of time, so let's figure out a way to pay them less if they're going to borrow for a short period of time. By the way, on Monday, another $6.8 billion. This one a little better, 4 months to 12 months. On Wednesday, another $8.165 billion. 1 to 4 months. On Friday, another $8.165 billion. Oh, wait, you guessed it. 1 to 4 months. On Monday, another 6.8, 4 to 12 months. And then on the 6th and the 8th of January, that's as far as this one goes, another one of these 8.165 numbers. So they got two numbers. $8.16 billion, which they do they do two of those, 1 to 4 months. Then they back it up with a $6.8 billion and 4 to 12 months, and then they just repeat it. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. $40 billion every single month. And Jason, not a single maturity beyond 1 year. And the vast majority of them are 1 to 4 months, essentially guaranteeing, well, you know what, Jay Powell had it down right. Hey, we're going to have QE forever because every 1 to 4 months, we just got to rebuy this stuff.
Well, it's looks good for gold and silver, that's for sure, because nobody's got confidence that they want to hold this stuff for very long. It's boys, it really turned into hot potato with treasuries, hasn't it? Nobody wants to be holding it at the wrong time, so you shorten the length that you're holding it so that you have less exposure. And this is going to bleed over into the rest of the world economy, Joe. That's a vote of no confidence, isn't it? That's what that is. It's just like, well, we got to keep it together, but nobody wants even a 1 year or a 5 year, no 10 year, no, of course, no 30 year, right? 20 year. Nobody will buy that stuff. Someone's gonna have to pay a lot of interest for that, and then and even then, who wants to? What percent interest do you need to give for 20 or 30 years, Joe? That somebody's going to be confident, as bad as it is, people know that if the inflation goes berserk, the interest rates can go flying up, and 6%, 8% might not be enough. Who'd want to get 20 year at 6 or 8% when are we going to have 1970s kind of rates, Joe?
Well, right now, I just took a little peek-see, take a little look-see. We're just below 4.9% on the 30-year note.
I didn't touch
and
that
of course, every time it gets to 5%, they start freaking out. And it just goes back to, and I tell you, Ray Dalio, Jeff Gundlach, I tell you these people that you need to watch out for. Remember what Gundlach said. Hey, yields aren't going to go down. They're going to go up. That's what he said. And so far, that's what's happening. I don't know. We'll watch this 10-year. Is the 10-year going to start heading back to 4.5%? I don't know what happens. Remember what was supposed to happen. They're supposed to lower the rates. People were supposed to be able, right now, in theory, you should be able to get a mortgage of maybe 5%, maybe something you can buy it down into the 4s. Nope. But they've lowered rates almost 2 full basis points, and you can't do it. I don't know why we should be surprised. You know, when I told you guys I've never been this worried, because now they're just doing blatantly dumb things. They know. It was so funny. Jay Powell, we're going to have we're not going to go in recession in 2026. Why do you think that? Oh, well, the tariff stuff, it'll have run its course eventually, and we've got AI and data centers. He said it in the meeting. Of course, since the meeting, everybody in AI is all of a sudden going, wait a minute. Maybe the growth that we were saying isn't going to happen. I don't know. But Jason, really what Jay Powell said was, well, we're going to be spending a crap load of money, and therefore it's going to be hard not to have at least some type of economic growth, right? Because we're going to print money, right? I mean, at the end of the day.
The government's the biggest entity in this country. They spend the most money by far over any other entity. Other companies are dependent upon government spending. So, yeah, if they're going to spend a whole bunch of money, there's going to be a positive look at it because, who doesn't like to have a little more money to spend, right, Joe? And it will get spent, and it'll be a sugar high. And it's really looking, Joe, that with everything that's been going on, it sure looks like the economic emergency that inevitably comes, in my estimation, will probably be 2027. It's looking like, just like clockwork, get to the end of a Republican term, have a big emergency that hits at the end. The conservative then gets to pass all kinds of really bad laws because we need to fix the emergency. And then in trots in the Democrat. It's like a clock, Joe. It's like a clock. It's, because it should have happened now. This stuff should be happening now. But, of course, we're going to pump a bunch of money in. And, Joe, how long is the sugar high really going to last? Do they have to double the money supply to get us to the end of this presidential term so that we can have the whole thing blow up and pass laws? Who knows what they're going to pass this time, right, Joe? Who knows what the emergency is going to be? What cloud of lies is going to be coming from the government? And they're going to point the finger at the emergency. They're going to point the finger at China. They're going to point the finger at Venezuela. Oh, it's Iran and whatever it is, right, Joe? What it is they got to keep inflating and printing, and they have to keep telling the American public, if just this country, why you have to put up with this inflation. At least you're an American. At least you're safe in your homes. You are the top of world society. You should be thankful for the 10 to 15% inflation that's coming in 2027 and 2028. Right, Joe? That's how they're going to sell it.
I have a hard time seeing how it doesn't happen. I do know this. The House, or the Senate, the Republican bill failed. Essentially, they only had until Monday, so it looks like there's going to be no deal on health care. Wait till those costs come in January. It's crazy. And you know what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to get a worse plan or do what my wife and I did. Just drop it altogether. And I didn't do it out of, I can't afford $1,500 a month for my wife and I. I was just like, I'm just not going to pay that. Because first of all, it was crappy. At a $10,000 deductible, the co-pays were insane. Yeah, I'm going to chance it. But here's the thing. The people that are going to chance it, who are they going to be? They're going to be the ones that are like, well, I really don't, I'm not sick. Guess who's going to be the ones that are going to be like, dude, I'll stop paying the cable. I'll stop going out to eat. Whatever. It's going to be the people that are sick, right? Hey, just the luck of the draw. I got really bad asthma. I've got, I'm hooked on antidepressants and medications, and I got high blood pressure. I got heart disease. I got this. I got that. I got cancer. Well, what do you think it's going to do to insurance rates? They're already going to make a big jump. Wait till next year. It'll be even worse. Yeah, it's crazy. I know.
Yes, ma'am.
800-951-0592. $20 gold piece a day, $44.50. Gold keeps heading higher.
Close to record highs. We're close to record highs right now.
Yeah. Silver. Right now, in silver prices, just when you call, we'll tell you. But right now, $1,385 on U.S. Silver Eagles. Just to give you an idea, when I had prices this morning, $1,425 for a roll. Little profit taking here. Take advantage. Cases, $34,500. That is $1,000 less than it was earlier this morning at 800-951-0592 as big speculation, and it's been all over the place, that J.P. Morgan has gotten out of its short position in silver and has essentially moved to physical to the tune of 750 million ounces. To give you an idea, remember the Hunt brothers, right, when they were cornering the market in silver? They had nowhere near 750 million physical ounces of silver when they were trying to corner the market. But Jason, it just seems like everybody kind of understands now price no longer matters. This old way of looking at, well, when the price gets to this amount, the demand will fall. The reason is simple. Demand's not falling because this is all about debasement. Silver, let's face it, silver's been in a structural deficit for half a decade. Hundreds of millions of ounces, and silver is just literally waking up from the paper manipulation. And again, I'll stick to it. 2026, $100 silver. That's where I stand on where silver is going to be. So at $62, is silver a buy? Yeah, it is. Is gold a buy at $4,300? Yeah. Why? Because it's going to be 5,000 plus. That's why. How do I know this? Because, well, look at what the Fed just said. Look at what I just read to you about their bond purchases. And look how short they are. Look at what the bond market's done since. Gone even higher. And then let's just talk about this elephant in the room. What's happening with Oracle? So Oracle, kind of the quiet Mag 7, right? Everyone, NVIDIA, Amazon, and Tesla, right? And everybody talks about Zuckerberg and whatever they call that company now, and Alphabet, right? Oracle's the other one. By the way, Larry Ellison at one point, did he become the richest man? I think briefly he became the richest man in the world when Tesla tanked.
Based off of records of guys that actually report their earnings, right?
Yes. They reported earnings. Was it yesterday? Either Wednesday or yesterday? I can't remember. And wow, is there a problem? Essentially, Oracle is going to run out of money. Their cash burn will grow to $28 billion by the end of this fiscal year. For Oracle, I want to say that they're 2 quarters into their fiscal year. So they've got 6 months that they're going to burn through all of their cash. Which just means what? Oracle's going to probably have to cut their dividend. They're going to have to issue stock, right? Somehow they're going to have to raise a ton of money. But here's the problem. Even Oracle, they're not AAA. Heck, not even close right now. They're rated as triple B, meaning it can be notched lower just once before they would be considered junk. And that is a huge problem for Oracle if they essentially get downgraded to junk. The cost of all of their debt explodes. And this is kind of the thing that everybody's watching right now when we're talking about why has the NASDAQ, which now is down 500, the other day, remember, the Dow was up 500 points, and yet the NASDAQ was down. That was all based with Oracle here. And the answer really is the amount of money they need to spend simply is going to burn through all of the cash they have. And the fact of the matter is, Oracle now is staring credit downgrades in the face. And if they get into junk, wow, because the difference in interest that they have to pay, you got to remember, these companies are just like the government, except they don't have the Federal Reserve to come in and say, well, I'm going to start buying $40 billion worth of your debt. They've got to refinance all this stuff. And this is the other thing I think that the markets haven't anticipated. I think they thought rates would be a lot lower. All of these companies, and you know the cycle, every year, hundreds of billions of dollars has to be refinanced because these companies, they go on valuation. They only pay interest. They don't like to pay anything off and then expect to be able to borrow more at a better rate. And, Jason, they're not going to get better rates. And now, all of a sudden, somebody like Oracle, they're so big and have so much debt. It literally, now we're talking about single companies possibly trashing the bond market. It really is unprecedented how big the bubble has gotten.
Well, they're going to print a bunch of money. I guess they'll save Oracle.
I don't know. Are they going to buy Oracle bonds? I don't know.
Japan bought all their companies, didn't they?
Yeah, right? 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason wrapping up this week. We've got big profit taking today in silver right now. So we'll price silver as you call. Now, a case of silver, which was $35,500 at 7 o'clock, right? 8 o'clock. Well, probably 8 o'clock my time. Yeah, 8 o'clock. So less than 2 hours ago, 35,005. Then I told you it was 34,005. Now it's $33,500. So you're going to have saved $2,000 in an hour and 45 minutes. And then, obviously, if you want to buy rolls of Silver Eagles, $13.45. So, Jason, you got to act fast. I don't know how long that is that price good for all day? I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Don't know.
We don't know. Well, gosh, look at silver just jumped. It just jumped 40 cents back above 61. So 33,750. See, that's how fast it moves now. 33,750, 13.55 on rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles for, I don't know, 5 seconds. I don't know. But take advantage. Either way, this is we need profit taking. Hey, here's what we need to get. Ready? You guys know this. The next higher low. The next higher low. And right around $60, right? It got to $60 and change just a few minutes ago. That would kind of make sense, wouldn't it, Jason? Right?
Yeah,
Yes. We broke 60. Let's get the new floor. Let's get that new low set up going into next week.
Well, I was looking at some. I like to look at the YouTube. The other gold and silver sellers out there. They're doing the same thing that Joe and I are doing, and some of them have these different opinions, and a lot of them are kind of similar to what we do. And this one guy, he's really good, and he likes to show the price of silver, and he makes phone calls across the country to see how much he could get for certain things if he were to sell it, to see what the value is for if you're a buyer and you just want to sell it. But he went to a coin show, and there was he couldn't sell silver rounds at spot. He was going to try to sell a bunch of silver rounds at spot, but there was somebody else at the show that was selling silver far below spot. Some of his stuff, what I call it really junky silver, he was selling at $50, and this is last weekend when silver is at 58. But he was selling a lot of stuff at 58, 57, 55. And he told this guy, he's like, I'm pricing it to sell. I'm going to sell all of it. I'm going to sell it all. And he told the YouTuber, he's like, look, I'm not going to get caught like 2011. And he's freaked out because in 2011, silver raced up to 50, and then it crashed back down in 2012, 2013, and 2014, and it settled back down into the teens. It would drop 2/3 value from that spike. And I can't stress this enough. Joe and I are watching this. We got some history we can look at, and the printing that the Fed is getting ready to do right now, as much as we can see, this is going to be put to government spending that needs to be done. That's going to go out to the masses. The 2011, when I say gold and silver it's a leading indicator. It's not a lagging indicator. The reason that gold and silver is a leading indicator of inflation is because the biggest players, big millionaires, billionaires, corporations, governments, central banks, they buy a bunch of this when they see the decisions that they make. They're making good decisions to buy gold and silver before it goes crazy. Well, when all of the hey, we're bailing out the banks, $5.5 trillion. That was, you guys got to remember 2008, 2009. We're bailing out the banks. Well, the buying of gold and silver went into overdrive. But what did the government do with all of that spending? When it ended up being $29 trillion. By the way, 10 years later, Joe and I find out with a FOIA request, they printed $29 trillion. They gave it to all the broken institutions, the broken country. I mean, they gave $3 trillion to Japan. $3 trillion went to Japan. The big banks got trillions of dollars. Germany got trillions of dollars. And what happened was they stuffed it in all of their holes. It's like, just keep spending dollars. It didn't get spent. The German citizens, the Japanese citizens, they didn't spend that. And so what happened was there was no inflation because the money didn't circulate. It wasn't actual real dollars. It was saving the world economy. very quietly, and we'll let you know 10 years later. That's not happening this time, Joe. We're not seeing $64 silver, and then it's going to fall down to $20 or $30. That's just if we see massive printing and we don't see it going into circulation, then maybe Joe and I'll come on and say, okay, be a little careful with this, right? Right, Joe? We'll say, hey, I don't know where this money really is going. Right now, it looks like the government needs to go on a spending spree, and it's going to go into the military. It's going to go into all the government pet projects for all of these Congress people that are owed all the favors for being as corrupt as they are, and that means inflation. And so the price of gold and silver is showing you the inflation that is coming. The last 2 years, gold has just showed you that everything will be doubling. Now silver is showing you that it could double in 1 year. Silver just showed everybody that the prices of goods and services can double inside a calendar year now, Joe.
Yeah. And the one thing Congress has passed, the $900+ billion defense budget. Yep. 800-951-0592. Jason and I, we're going to wrap it up when we get back. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason wrapping up this Friday. What a crazy week. What will next week bring? A chance to get some silver on a little. I mean, I don't know. Is it really a pullback? Because $62 and, but hey, it beats having to buy it at 65, which is probably going to be, I hate to say it, next week, but give us a call here, 800-951-0592. Text it. Big developments. Is the bottom in? It's been a tough few weeks when it comes to Texit having a pretty good day today. All things considered, there was a big update last night on Layer 2, which is really the project. Our job is build the mine. Why are we building the mine? So we can bring honest money to the world. And
the basic way to say that, Joe, is by bringing a way of using Texit coin, it creates a desire and a drive to have to buy more. Layer 2 puts it out there, and now people have to have it. Because when the mine closes, there's no more hash to have. You got to create a market for this to be used, and that is huge with cryptocurrencies, which aren't really cryptocurrencies unless they're used as money, right, Joe?
Right. What's your utility? Right? You hear the crypto bros and all the doubters out there. Well, we're going to talk pretty exclusively about this utility, and it's even better than I thought. I did, here's something. I don't know how it works, because really no crypto really has a utility that anybody really uses. There's, you buy it. There's a few handfuls, a company now being included, right? I'll take crypto, right? I just started, but because I can take it and sell it and dump it and it's fine and wonderful, but it's not used as money. It's going to be, and that is what we are going to be bringing. And the cool part is the mine didn't have to be nearly as big as I thought it did, which is super exciting. Matter of fact, just so everyone knows, we have a Layer 2 test again tonight. Yesterday in Texas, we had the local police and sheriffs all in the McKinney and surrounding areas. We sponsored, we did a food drive with them. We sponsored them to do training for high-speed police pursuits. This was something that they had planned and these local communities didn't have the money. They got cut. They're going to have to cancel the event. We stepped in and said, hey, no, you don't. We'll help you out. What's the utility, and why is it that you shouldn't be too worried about the price?